Hello and welcome. Today we're diving into one of the most incredible and, let's be honest, often overwhelming journeys you can go on, the first trimester of pregnancy. It is a time of absolutely massive change for you and for the new life that's just getting started. So you've just seen that positive pregnancy test. And whether you've been trying for ages or it's a total surprise, that moment usually brings this wild mix of pure joy and a little bit of panic. Right? What am I supposed to be doing? What should I stop doing? It's a lot. So let's break it all down step by step. Here's our game plan. First, we're going to cover the incredible week-by-week timeline. Then we'll get into your body's new normal and answer some of the top questions you probably have. And finally, we'll wrap up with a solid action plan to help you not just survive, but really thrive. All right, first up, the timeline. These first few weeks are when some of the most critical and frankly mind-blowing developments are taking place. And it all starts on a scale you can't even see. Okay, here's something that trips up almost everyone. Your pregnancy is actually dated from the very first day of your last period. This means that by the time you can even get a positive test, you're technically already considered about 4 weeks pregnant. I know it feels a little bit like time travel, but it's just the standard way doctors track everything. The journey from a single cell to a tiny human is just breathtaking. Around week 2, conception happens. Then, by week 4, that little ball of cells, called a blastocyst, implants into your uterus. And then the real construction boom begins. Between weeks 5 and 10, all the major organs start forming, and that little heart starts to beat. By week 10, it's officially called a fetus, and just a few weeks after that, its face is already well formed. It's amazing. Can you believe it? In just 14 weeks, that single cell has grown into a fetus that's about 3 inches long. We're talking roughly the size of a kiwi. Your body has been working unbelievably hard to make all of this happen. So while all that incredible development is happening for the baby, your body is going through its own revolution. This leads to a new normal, one that's being driven by a massive surge in hormones. And here are some of the greatest hits, so to speak. You might get all of them, you might just get a couple. These are mainly caused by soaring levels of hormones, especially progesterone. It's essential for a healthy pregnancy, but it's also responsible for some of these less than glamorous side effects. This quote from Dr. Shaheen, it just says it all, doesn't it? The fatigue can be on a whole other level. Your body is basically running a marathon 24/7. Your heart's pumping harder, your kidneys are in overdrive. You're building an entire life support system from scratch. The biggest takeaway here? Listen to your body. Seriously, rest. Morning sickness. What a terrible name, because as you might be finding out, it can strike any time of day or night. But look at this, up to 80% of people experience it. You are definitely not alone. It usually peaks between weeks 4 and 9, and believe it or not, it's often a sign of a healthy pregnancy, with those hormones rising nicely, even though it feels awful. So, what can you actually do about it? Well, keeping your stomach from getting totally empty is key, so small, frequent meals with bland, carby foods can really help. Ginger is a well-known remedy, and some people swear by those acupressure wristbands. But the most important thing is this. If you can't keep food or water down, you need to talk to your doctor. There are safe medications that can help. Okay, let's get into the questions that are probably swirling around in your head. Getting clear, straightforward answers to these common worries can make a huge difference. This is a big one. Any new sensation can feel really nerve-wracking, and cramping can be especially worrying for a lot of people. So the short answer is yes, mild cramping can be completely normal. Think about it. Your uterus is expanding super fast, and the ligaments that hold it in place are stretching out. That can cause some aches, but your peace of mind is everything. Never ever hesitate to call your doctor if you're worried. And here's another one that causes a lot of anxiety. Seeing any amount of blood when you're pregnant is understandably really scary. So what's the deal? Now, it is absolutely vital to take any spotting seriously, but it doesn't automatically mean something is wrong. In fact, look at this. About 30% of perfectly healthy pregnancies have some spotting. Sometimes it's caused by the placenta implanting into the uterine wall. The rule, though, is always the same. Report any bleeding to your doctor right away. Navigating food safety can feel like you're trying to solve a puzzle. There's so much conflicting advice out there, so let's clear up the absolute basics. When it comes to fish, the main concern is mercury. So you want to avoid those big predatory fish like swordfish or king mackerel. But safer options like salmon and sardines, they are fantastic. They're packed with omega-3s, which are amazing for the baby's brain. The general rule is to stick to about 2 or 3 servings a week. The other big goal here is just avoiding harmful bacteria. See, during pregnancy, your immune system is a little suppressed, which makes you more vulnerable to getting sick from food. That's why it's recommended to skip raw stuff like sushi, unpasteurized dairy like some soft cheeses, and deli meats, unless you heat them up until they're steaming hot. We've covered the biology, we've tackled the big questions. Now let's wrap this up with a clear, simple action plan to help you take care of yourself during this incredible, but yeah, pretty demanding time. Here it is, a simple breakdown. On the stop list, it's time to cut out smoking, alcohol, and marijuana. It's also smart to pause any high-impact exercises where you could fall. But on the continue side, absolutely keep taking your prenatal vitamins, stay hydrated, enjoy modified exercise like walking or swimming, and, I can't say this enough, get plenty of rest and naps. And if there is one single nutrient to be obsessed with right now, it's folic acid. This is exactly why taking a prenatal vitamin is completely non-negotiable. Folic acid plays an absolutely critical role in the super early development of the baby's brain and spinal cord, helping to prevent really serious birth defects. You know, the first trimester really is a marathon. It's a time of huge change, some challenges, and a whole lot of wonder. By understanding what's going on with your body and how to care for yourself, you've already taken the biggest step, from panic to preparation. You've got this. The journey is just beginning.